Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Grow Your Life podcast. My name is Jeremiah Krakowski. If you haven't listened to this podcast before, I've been helping business owners for the last 19 years grow their businesses online to get more customers and make more money using the tools of direct response marketing. Now, I help course creators, coaches, trainers, authors, speakers, anybody that wants to sell products online, specifically digital products or information products, but this can also apply to any sort of online business, including e-commerce, network marketing, and other forms of business online. And what I want to do is I want to help you get more results. We've helped build businesses to tens of millions of dollars from scratch. And so if you're somebody that's just getting started, you're in the right place. Listen, my friends, this is going to be the definitive guide to your sales funnel. Now, I have over 160 podcast episodes on the Grow Your Life podcast. If you check out over at my website, they cover a variety of topics. They cover so many topics, in fact, that sometimes it can be overwhelming. If you go to my YouTube channel as well, I have just under 1,000 videos. If I go over here to my YouTube, you can see this. If you're watching the video version, you can see what I'm actually pulling up on my screen. If you search for my name, Jeremiah Krakowski, and any topic about what I'm talking about, you're going to find these videos. Now, I'm going to create a list in the description. If you go under the video in YouTube, I'm going to create a list of supporting videos that talk about the different topics that I'm sharing today, and I'm going to have those so you can go through those in your own time as well. You can search in the YouTube search, and that's where you're going to find some of the best videos on these different topics. Okay, so for your offer, for your guide to selling more with ads and online offers, for your sales and all of that. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to break down start to finish for you the sales funnel process from ad to sale. Okay, and so what it is we start right here, and I want to sort of paint a picture. This is what we call the customer journey. This is the ether right here, okay? This is, it's about 8 billion people on planet Earth, okay? So that's 8 billion people out here over on this end, right? And then right here is your customers. Let's say initially you have 3,000 people, or let's make it simple, 300, right? 300 customers is a good start. Even 30 is a good start. Don't get overwhelmed by these big numbers. We help people make their first $5,000, their first $10,000. But oftentimes when people work with me and they really start to get this process, they don't stop there. They end up going to 30 to 50 to $100,000 a month. And I'm telling you, making $1 million or $500,000 doing what I'm showing you right now is not out of the question. I had somebody this week on my social media tell me that, well, you're talking about the 1% of the 1% of people. And I'm saying, yeah, but they just don't know how to do it right. They don't know how to get more customers the effective way. And so what I'm going to show you is the most effective way to get customers for any business. Okay. So we start with the ether of people, 8 billion people. And I'm going to break this down really fast. And then I'm going to break down each step as we go along it. So if you feel like I'm going over this a little too quickly for you to follow, just keep watching, and I'm going to break down each step on this. So we start with these people, and what we have is we have platforms, okay? So we have Facebook. We have TikTok. We have Instagram. And most of what we talk about deals with social media sales. You also do have, though, you have your blog. This is your own website, which generally actually starts with Google or referrals. You have your email list or other people's email list. Right? So these are platforms that either other people or you have built with people from these 8 billion people. The ones that are on the internet are the ones that you're going to reach. And what I specifically teach is about using the internet. So we're not talking about like finding people that want to coach with you that are not online and you meet them at a coffee shop somewhere, that type of networking. There's a lot of great training out there on that. I'm not really the guy that's going to teach you a lot of that because I just find it's a lot easier to find people through the internet. Okay. And so these are platforms where people exist, where they They interact with their friends. They interact with their family members. Okay? And so on these platforms, your 300 customers, let's just say it's like your dream 300 or your dream 100 or just any group of people that are going to buy from you at some time. Okay? They all exist on these platforms right now. They're all there. And what's crazy is in 2022, all of these platforms are driven by something called artificial intelligence. Okay? And you don't have to understand artificial intelligence to be able to use it. Just by posting on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or even on your blog, Google, and even email lists, there's artificial intelligence that's deciding who to show your content to, okay? And so what you want to do is you learn how to train the AI to show your content to the right people. And so that's what we're doing. That's the process that I'm going to walk you through, is training the AI to find you customers. And it's not as complicated as it sounds. You don't need to know code. You don't need to know how to code anything. It actually has to do with the words that you say. And I break this down a lot in a lot of the content that I've created. And so one of the best steps to train the AI is with two forms: organic content and paid advertising. Okay? So you have organic content that goes on these platforms, and you have paid advertising that goes on these platforms. And they work together to train your unique artificial intelligence. Now, your AI doesn't exist somewhere. It exists, and what you get to do is these platforms give you an opportunity to go in there and create buckets. Okay? And so what we do is we create a bucket of who we are able to reach with our paid ads and with our organic content. Okay, so this bucket of people, this is a bucket of people right here that are most likely to be out of the 8 billion people, right? And how many people are actually on the internet? Let's actually find that statistic real quick, because I want to actually use some real numbers here. How many internet users are there in the world? 56% of the world population, okay? So you're looking at 4 billion people are on these platforms, okay? What you want is your bucket includes 5% of those 4 billion people. Okay, so we got 4 billion times, let's see what 5% of that is. 200 million, okay? So there's about 200 million people in your bucket right here. And what's going to happen is the algorithms, in fact, I can see this when I go into my page on social media. It actually tells me my average audience size for my content is right around 250 million. Okay? And so out of that 200 million, the algorithm already knows who those 200 million people are. So what it does is it doesn't even care about the other 3.8 billion people that are not in that bucket. Okay? So there's 3.8 billion people that you'll probably never reach. Unless you become president of a country or something, which is not far-fetched. I actually know some people that could be on that trajectory. I have some friends that I've walked through this process that I would not be surprised if one of them campaigns for presidency in the next upcoming 20, 30 years. Literally. by using this process, but they started with this process. Okay? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Out of this group of people, the 200 million people, you then want to find what is your true buyer base. Okay, so your true buyer base is 5% of the 5% of everybody. Okay? And so 5% of the 5% is 10 million. And this 10 million group of people is people that like they will be obsessed with you, with everything that you do, everything that you offer. Like they will live and breathe what it is that you put out there. So there's a potential group of 10 million buyers for every single person out there. I truly believe that. And so what it is you can train the AI to, instead of it wasting time and showing your ads and showing your content to 200 million people, the better you train it, it starts showing it to these 10 million people. And it ends up not showing it to about 190 million that are probably not going to become your buyers. These 10 million will end up sharing it with the other 190 million by word of mouth eventually. Okay? But these 10 million become your most committed people. And so just by you, it all starts with making organic content on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And then running paid ads. And so what you're able to do is you're able to run those ads to that group of 10 million people. And I walk you through how to create, we call them lookalike audiences or artificial intelligence audiences. And so the words that you say, how you say it, will train the algorithm to show your content to the right people. Most people just don't know how to use the right words. They don't know how to say the right words. And so that's why we use a tool like Jasper.ai. Jasper AI actually helps us write the right words. Okay? That way you don't actually have to know exactly how to market to these people to reach them. Jasper AI, you can tell it what your product is, what you offer, and Jasper AI will help you write and craft content. It's strategically designed to use artificial intelligence to reverse engineer these algorithms to be able to find those 10 million people. And that's where it gets fun, okay? So what you do is, this is all your organic content, your paid ads right here. Now what you have is what we call your irresistible offer. Okay? So your irresistible offer is something that 5% of the 10 million people right here, okay? It's about 200,000 people, I think. To do some quick math in here. I'm not super good at math in my brain. 500,000 people. Yeah, 500,000 people. 500,000 people. You want to create an irresistible offer that 500,000 people find it impossible to say no to. Okay? And you want to give those 500,000 people that offer for free. Now, your offer could be a free event, a free masterclass, a free webinar, a free ebook. It could even be a book on Amazon that you sell for $1 or $10, okay? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get these 500,000 people to get on your email list, right? You're going to reach about 10 million people with your content and your paid ads, but only about 500,000 of them are ever going to actually take the next step with you, about 5%. And really, it's more like 2% for most people, 2 to 5%, especially in the beginning, It'll be about 2%. So we bring this number down to 200,000. 2% are going to sign up and join your email list. Out of the 8 billion people, and this all happens by writing the words that attract people and creating an irresistible offer and putting it out there in your organic content and your paid ads to get people on your email list. And you bribe them, you ethically bribe them with a free class, a free training, a free ebook, or some kind of a cheap book of some kind, or an event of some kind, to get them to sign up to engage with you. Okay? Another format of this, actually a podcast actually is part of this. It's funny, I'm recording a podcast right now and I forgot about that. Podcast, but a podcast, people aren't actually giving you their information. So your podcast or your blog post still go back to it being organic content because people haven't given you their email address. They haven't signed up for something yet with you. Okay? So you're directing people from here, from your organic content. This is the ether of people. Again, break this down. 8 billion people. There's only about 4 billion that are actually on the internet. There's only about 200 million that will ever really be qualified for what you offer. Unless you're selling something like an iPhone, right? Or a product that everybody can use. Health products might be a little different, but again, there might only be 200 million people that really need the exact health product that you offer. Okay? So we're segmenting, we're categorizing these people. This is what we call our niche. And the AI helps us find the people that are in that niche. And so you create an irresistible offer to put out there to the people that listen to your podcast, that check out your blog post, that engage with your organic content, and engage with your paid advertising. And so, and the goal is an email list that has about 200 to 500,000 people. This is not unlikely. A number of our clients, Rick Pino, my mom, Sandy Kurkowski, have that many people on email lists, right? And so those are like the most engaged people because they've said, yes, I want more of what you offer and I want to go on a journey with you. Okay? And so this is really your goal with all of this. Your goal with all of this right here is not to bring transformation to people's lives. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of people miss it when it comes to their coaching, their course creation, their training, and their books, is they're trying to change people's lives with this stuff. You'll impact people. I've had a lot of people impacted by this podcast, but ultimately the people who actually sign up with me for something, get on my email list, buy my courses, become a paid one-on-one coaching client, they get the transformation. So I craft and design all of my organic content and paid advertising and offers around what these people care about. And I'm running my paid ads specifically to this irresistible offer. Okay? So we're running paid ads to the irresistible offer. And we're able to train the AI based off of how many people visit your website, how many people listen to your episodes, how many people engage with your organic content. And we're able to, if we don't know what words to say, we're able to use tools like Jasper AI to come up with those words. So are you getting this? If any part of this you're stuck on, I'd love for you to write me, send me a message, leave a comment below, and I can make additional podcast episodes off of what part of this that I just went over that you're stuck on, okay? And I'm going to include additional trainings that break down the nuances of all this for you. The courses at my website break down in depth. I have a course over at my website called Irresistible Offers That Sell, where I break down how to create that irresistible offer right here. We have a course called Social Media Content Creation. That's social media content creation. Yeah, that's for organic content, right? And then we have a course called Social Media Ads That Work. This is for paid ads. We'll also show you how to build your website, how to create a coaching program, how to create your own online courses. You can get a bundle of all my courses on here as well. Or go through the podcast, go through the different blog posts on my website, and learn at your own pace that way, okay? So your goal is you want to get as many people as possible into an irresistible offer of some kind. So your goal is you want to get as many people as possible into your irresistible offer of some kind, to get on your email list, to engage with you, okay? Now, what are you doing in your event, in your masterclass, in your webinar, in your ebook, in your blog post, your podcast, all of that? Okay. So this part of the process is the same for all of these that are your irresistible offers. Don't get overwhelmed and overthink, okay, which one should I do? I'm going to create an additional podcast episode here in the coming weeks where I break down specifically what to put in your free offer, but I'm going to summarize that here real quick. So your free offer, the intention is you want it to be irresistible for the result that somebody has to the problem that's in their life. And so you want to expose some kind of a problem that your product or service solves. And you want to get people to sign up to find the answer and the solution to that problem. Now, some of you might be saying, well, I don't want to give them the solution for free. And that mindset is wrong. You need to give people solutions for free, but only up to the point of their comprehension. Okay? Like right now, I'm giving you the blueprint for free. I give you the blueprint for free, and yet I still have people who buy my coaching because they need to understand the nuances where I walk them through based on individually what they need help with. So you want to give your best content away for free in this. What you want to be careful of, though, is you don't want to give too much that it overwhelms people. Okay? So you want to keep it simple enough that it's not going to overwhelm your target customer. So how do we turn 200,000 into 300 buyers? Well, what you're going to end up finding is out of this 200,000 people, and we really need to shrink those numbers, right? You're going to have about 3% of these people become buyers. So out of 200,000, (3 to 5%), you'll have about 6 to 10,000 become your customers. Okay? Now we shrink these numbers down because a lot of times this is based off of how much you can actually spend on paid advertising. You'll know that you maxed out an offer, a paid product of some kind, when you have about 10,000 buyers of one product. Now I've seen a lot of products, as you get better at this, you might have 50,000 or even 100,000 buyers. But that usually doesn't happen in the beginning, okay? It just doesn't. Because what you're going to find is through this process, you're going to discover a new way of communicating what you do to people, with people. Have you sold 10,000 products before? I have. We've sold over 50,000 with one business. And what we found is we ended up reinventing this whole process about 5 times. Creating new offers, creating a new angle to do our social media content. as you go through this process, you'll end up actually reinventing most of this every 6 to 12 months as you get more clear and more focused. Now, why are you doing that? You might say, well, if I did all this work and it's making me money, why would I do it again and change it and make it change it? Because you'll actually make more money by changing it, and you would be choosing to make less money by not doing so. Okay? So you're going to make more money by optimizing this process as you start to get buyers. What you don't want to do, and I see a lot of people do this, is optimizing the process before they have anybody buying from them. You want to test out your funnel. You want to put it out there. You want to get some buyers. Now, if you're not getting any buyers, something's got to change. Something's got to change. If you spent at least $1,000 on paid advertising and nobody bought anything from you, let's say your product is $97 or something like that. You know, there's also the value ladder, like what do we charge for our products? And I broke that down. I'm gonna actually, let me find the page where I break that down here. I have it, I did it on another training, so I'm gonna pull it back up here for you. Okay, so the value ladder is right here. Okay. So your social media, this is your free content. So this range right here, this is where you're going to be able to get between 6 and 50,000 buyers easily. Is selling products from $1 up to $297. Anything under $300, you'll be able to sell to that many people. You're going to sell a lot less of the high ticket stuff. And high ticket is where you end up making more of your profits. Okay? Selling stuff that's in the $2,000 to $50,000 range to people. So you might have 10,000 people. In the beginning, you might have 300, right? Or 3,000. Let's just use for the sake of the example, 300 people bought a $47 product from you, okay? About 3% of those people, of the 300, times, there's about 10 people would be willing to invest about $1,000 with you. Okay? So you have 300 right here, and you have about 10 of those people that will invest 1,000. So that's 10 grand. So you look at, okay, 300 times $47, that's 14,000, right? That pays for your advertising. Most of you are going to end up breaking even on your advertising at this level. And I see a lot of people get really bent out of shape about that they're breaking even selling products for $297. That's by design, because your goal is, and you want to move people further up your value ladder. Okay? And here's how it happens. Then you'll get about $10,000 at this level. That's your profit margin. And you might have one of those people be willing to pay you between $2,000 and $10,000. So you'll end up basically doubling or tripling down your money that you broke even on higher ticket stuff. And most of you, if you're course creators or coaches, need to stop giving away your stuff for cheap and have higher ticket offerings for people that want that next step. At my website, my higher ticket offering is my one-on-one coaching, okay? So I have my courses. They're about $500 each course. And then I have one-on-one coaching right here, where I come alongside you and help you build your business. And we have a number of customer testimonies of one-on-one coaching clients. But I sell that for $7,500, okay, for 12 sessions. And we break down and I help you build all of this together. Okay, let's go back to the last page here, the one that we were just working on, to break this down. So your goal is you want to move people from these you know, $1, $7. Some of you, when you're going to get started, just charge $1 or $7 just to test it out. If you can get somebody to give you $7, you've validated that there's a desire for what you offer. And you can test that out with your free content as well. If you're not getting anybody signing up with their email address for something for free, there's not a desire for what you're actually offering, or you're not explaining it in a way that people actually want. So you want to use Jasper to help you come up with better words. So out of this group of people right here, then you're going to have that 3%, 3 to 5%, who are going to end up buying something from you that's maybe $1,000, and that's your profit margins right there. Okay? And so most of you in your business could do this every single month and end up making $20,000 to $40,000 a month in your business in the beginning. You get it? As a profit margin, because the idea is you run this cycle every 2 weeks. So you basically end up trying to get 300 to 600 people to give you $7, and then upgrade 3 to 5% of them, 10 to 20 of those people to a $1,000 program, something like that, and go up the ladder. Again, that's why you have to charge more for what you're offering. Now, what we're finding is once you optimize this, you're actually not going to break even on this level. You can usually double your ad spend on this level and then triple and quadruple right here. And that's where the clients that are really getting the most results with us are maxing it out. They're not breaking even on their $47. They're actually doubling their money on that level. Okay? So they end up maybe spending, you know, $7,000 on paid ads. Now, before you shut your brain down, that $7,000 you're going to be able to end up paying back right away. Put it on a credit card, you end up making a payment right to the credit card right away. Because if you're using Stripe, you can do instant payouts where the money comes in and then you send it right to your credit card to pay off the ad spend. So it's not actually money that you had out of pocket. And you budget it over the course of a couple of days. So we usually start with, you know, $10 a day in ads, $50 a day in ads. And then you end up making back $20 to $100 of that. You end up profiting. You start adjusting your budget to where that is. If you're losing money running ads, you're running them the wrong way. You just are. You want to at least be breaking even so that you can take the money that's coming in on the front end initially right away within 7 days. Within 7 days to be able to pay off that ad spend. And then in that 7-day cycle, 14-day cycle, you're then upgrading people to that $1,000 level with you. Okay? And then usually over the course of maybe the next 2 to 3 months, they might upgrade to something that's about $5 to $10 grand. And that's where the money really starts coming in, and that's the 7-figure business level right here. Okay? So you build out your value ladder. What is the next step that I can offer people in this? So in your free irresistible offer, you're sending people to buy something along this list. Now, here's the cool thing. This is an interesting part of this, an interesting part of the science of this. The longer in length of time that you're talking, the higher price you can actually sell something to people when you do a pitch. So the longer that somebody sits with you to learn something from you, the more you can actually charge for what your pitch is. Okay? So like if your masterclass is only 30 minutes, you maybe could sell a $47 to $97 product. If your masterclass is 2 hours long, you could actually sell a $1,000 product usually to the people that made it all the way through the 2-hour deal with you. If you do an event that's a 3-day or a 5-day or even a 10-day event where you do an hour each day, the people that make it to the end of that event, they might even be able to give you $2,000 to $5,000 right there. And that becomes your cycle. So you run an irresistible offer to the people that are out here to send them to your paid offer, and you move them up your value ladder to buy from you. And that's your sales funnel. And you use persuasive language. You become better at sales. You can become better at your presentation. I talk about books like The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. These are two books that will really help you become better at your sales pitch. And so your goal is, how can I connect with as many people as possible that are most likely to become a buyer of something that I put out there? And you move them up that funnel, okay? And that's how you go from ad to sale and make a profit in this business. All right? Now, again, I know some of you might have some different questions on this, concerns, ideas. Anybody can do this. Any excuse that you give yourself for why you believe that you can't do this is a lie that you're believing in your head right now. It is. You might be saying, Jeremiah, I don't have $7,000. Like, the fact that your brain is focusing on that is crazy to me. When I just showed you a path to make seven figures. You don't need it all up front. You spend $10 a day. You got $10? Well, no, I don't have $10. Well, if you don't have $10, then you're not in the right place listening to me. You're just not. And then your goal is, okay, I got $10. I made back $10. I got $10. I made back $20. Now I can reinvest that into, okay, I made $20. Now we can put 20 into our ads. And then that snowballs like that to where then you grow to that level. So many people don't do this because they're like, I'm not here yet with $7,000. My friends, you're stuck on the wrong thing. Are you even making content for your social media yet? The answer is most of you that are stuck on, I don't have $7,000, aren't even making social media content daily. And then that brings up a whole nother list of excuses. Well, I don't have time to make content every single day. I'm sorry, but you do. It only takes, it's again, any excuse and reason that you come up with why you can't do this is a lie that you're believing, that you've convinced yourself of. It is. My content takes me 5 minutes a day to make. I record it on my phone like this. To get people to buy from you, you have to know how to find the right people that are out there in the ether of the internet. There's about 4 billion people online, and move them along a path to qualify them as buyers for you. I have a podcast episode coming out this next week where I break that down, this whole topic right here. It might be kind of hard to see right here about how to do this. So check that out at my website, the Grow Your Life podcast. I think it's really going to help you, walk you through the sales funnel process, start to finish, from ad to sale. I'll see you on that podcast episode. See, so that took me 30 seconds to record a piece of content that I'm going to put on TikTok and Instagram. If you're taking longer than 5 minutes to come up with your free social media content, you're spending way too long and you're stuck in your head. And you're too focused on being perfect and saying the perfect thing and it being the perfect thing. And you have to get rid of that. Perfectionism is the greatest detriment to business owners being successful, because they're so focused on it has to be a specific way or I'll do nothing at all. And they get stuck in their brain because they feel like it's not safe to put something out there that's anything less than perfect. So deal with that. Some of you might need to talk to a therapist through that, as to why perfectionism is such a big, important part of your life, and that you literally won't do any of what I talked about. Some of you are watching this right now. You've been hearing me talk about this for 3 to 5 years, still haven't done anything because you're stuck on, I don't know what to say on my social media content. 3 to 5 years. I know people right now, 3 to 5 years, that are stuck on that. That's what this course, Social Media Content Creation Made Easy, is all about. Finally, never have to wonder, what should I post again? But let's go over to my YouTube channel and we'll type in content. Literally, I have videos for free on my YouTube channel that answer this topic of what should I put on my social media content. Never run out of ideas for content. Creating content that sells. When you struggle to make content, document. Easy trick to make content. Like, I have made so much content about making content, and yet people still say I don't know what to say and make content about. Maybe stop making that be your excuse and reason why you're failing, and maybe you're living your life needing some kind of a crutch because it makes you feel better, instead of taking personal responsibility to say, I'm scared to do this. I'm scared of reaching that many people. I'm scared of what people might say about me. I'm scared of not being good enough. Again, I get that. That's why your belief in yourself is the number one thing that's going to have an impact on this process. How much you believe in yourself and what you offer. If you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to make anything, because you're physically and mentally incapable of doing any of this. If you don't believe in yourself, you're just not. Your brain will self-sabotage you every step of the way. And so working on your self-esteem is one of the greatest things that you can do. Okay? And again, I have a type in, go to my YouTube. Type in Jeremiah Krakowski self-esteem. What I do when I'm scared and lack confidence. Self-belief determines your income. When self-doubt creeps in. Stop being so self-critical. Self-belief in business. Healthy self-worth. Lack of confidence. My friends, listen, I'm not saying this to make you feel inadequate. I'm saying this to tell you that you no longer need to make these be your crutch and your excuse for why you can't build your business. There's a path. There's a process. I provide resources for you for free that can help break you out of the cycle for any step on this process that you're stuck. You just have to do the work. And listen, if you're not, I know for a fact, I know the statistics. Only about 5% of you listening to this podcast right now are ever going to even start making social media content. The other 95% of you are going to come up with reasons and excuses for why it's impossible for you, and you're going to be at the same place that you are 5 years from now. Unless something changes. Unless you decide, I'm done with making excuses for why I can't. I'm done with coming up with reasons for why I can't. And instead, I start believing I can. I am capable. I am worth putting myself out there. I can impact people. I can make a difference. And I'm not going to let the fear and worry of what anybody thinks about me stop me along the way. I'm not going to let the fear and worry of haters and rude people stop me. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to work on my self-belief. I'm going to work on my fear and worry. I'm going to work on healing the trauma and the fact that maybe I was verbally abused, and that when people speak certain things to me, it triggers me and it hurts me, and I'm afraid of people saying that stuff online to me, because I know that that's a problem that most people have that stops them. And instead, growing, accepting yourself for who you are, loving yourself enough to say, you know what? For the future of my family, for the future generations that are out there, I'm going to step up and do something different. The choice is yours, my friends. What are you going to choose? Thanks for listening to this podcast. I'm so glad that you were here. I'm so glad that you made it to the end of this. You're the cream of the crop. Most people, I have the statistics on it. I literally see the data of how many people start a podcast episode with me and don't make it to the end. If you've made it all the way to the end of this, you have what it takes to be successful. You just have to start to put it into action. Plug into this podcast. Plug into the videos on my social media. Purchase my courses. Consider scheduling a free 45-minute discovery call, and let's talk about one-on-one coaching together. You can go to my website. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of my site, you're going to see right here, schedule a 45-minute discovery call. And you can actually schedule this with me if you're somebody that's serious about one-on-one coaching. You and I can talk together about your business, where you're at, help you get unstuck, and help you get started building your business together. Grow your life, everybody. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.